Hi, everyone. It's really nice to be here with you today. Thank you so much for having me. Um, I want to share a story with you today, a piece of my story, but it's not a story of an overnight success or an instant confidence boost, but it's something honest and hopefully relatable. It's my hope is that by the end of my speech, maybe even one of you might just feel a little bit more seen, a little more hopeful, or maybe even a bit inspired. Um, when I want you to imagine stepping into a room full of confident speakers, their arguments sharp and persuasive. They speak with ease, they challenge ideas without hesitation, and they seem to be completely at home under the spotlight. Now imagine sitting in that room, your heart pounding, words stuck in your throat, and convinced that you don't belong there. Well, that was me in my first junior MEN conference back in middle school. I stumbled, I hesitated, and honestly, I felt like I'd completely messed up. I walked out thinking, maybe this just isn't for me. But what I didn't understand back then was that what felt like failure at the time was actually the beginning of something so much bigger. When I first, um, sorry, um, back then MUN wasn't something I was good at. In fact, it was something I struggled with a lot. I constantly told myself, maybe I'm just not a good speaker. Maybe I'll never be as good as the others. Maybe I'm just not the right person for this. And every time I told myself this, I felt less weak. I felt weaker, less capable, and smaller. When I first started high school, I wanted to stay as far away as possible from MUN. But at my parents' request, I participated in the trials and I was selected for the club. I unwillingly joined the club, but I was unsure at first because I didn't want to feel the way I used to feel again. You know, always doubting myself, never feeling good enough, and constantly fearing failure. But then I realized something. For the longest time, I measured my success by looking at others, at how effortlessly they spoke, how confidently they debated, how naturally they seemed to belong. And every time I told myself those things, I felt like I couldn't do it. But something I didn't realize was that everybody grows at their own pace. And the only person you ever need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Because why would you compete with somebody else and not be better than the version of yourself that you were yesterday? I believe that instead of focusing on how far behind you think you are, you should focus on how far you've come. And the moment I stopped comparing myself and started focusing on my own improvements is the moment I truly began to grow. And that is when everything changed for me. And now today, as I stand here as the president of my school's MEN club, I realize how much has changed. The same person who once feared that who once hesitated to speak up is now empowering others to find their own voices. And the same voice that wavered with doubt now carries strength and faith. And the same student who once feared that they would never be good enough now stands here as living proof that with growth, perseverance, and self-belief, you can change everything. So if you ever find yourself feeling like you're not good enough just because somebody else is to be ahead of you, then I want you to remember this. Your journey is yours alone, and your growth is yours to own. And the only person you ever need to compete with is the person you were yesterday, because as long as you keep moving forward, that means you're not stopping. That means that you're taking a step forward, even if it's big or small. And as long as you don't stop, that means you're more than enough. So, success doesn't happen overnight, but if you keep on going despite the failures, then you can achieve anything you put into your mind. And if I made it here today, then so can you. Thank you so much.